Good day. My name is Attorney Anthony Reeves, and this is your Q&A Social Security Disability Today. Let's get to your questions. What happens to those people who fake being disabled in order to get disability benefits? Okay, I get this a lot, and it's actually kind of funny because my post on my blog as well as my YouTube video dealing with fraud, I get a lot of comments because there is this general idea, and I laugh when I hear it. I have to roll my eyes because everybody who is struggling trying to get disability benefits probably knows, or, and this is not trying to knock on you, you think you know someone who has faked being disabled in order to get benefits. And there may be people out there who are bragging about how they got over on the system. And I've had a multitude of people posting comments and sending me messages saying, yeah, I know this person who specifically told me that they defrauded the government. And it gets people fired up because the reality is no one wants to believe that someone who doesn't deserve it, when they deserve it, is getting something that they're not receiving. I got you. Let's kind of walk down this lane first. First, you do have a right under the law. You can notify Social Security if you believe that someone is fraudulently receiving disability benefits. So keep that thought in your mind. You can. Just contact Social Security, give them the name of the individual, give them a description if you don't have the Social Security number, and let them know that you have reason to believe that an individual is being fraudulent with their disability benefits. And you can do it anonymously. You don't have to tell them exactly who it is. Now keep in mind, Social Security has a fraud unit that investigates persons with fraud. And basically, it's a federal offense to actually defraud the federal government. So what ends up happening? Well, there's a couple of things. One, they'll investigate to make a determination of whether. I always tell people, when people tell me that somebody's getting benefits fraudulently, my first thought and my first comment is, trust me, what goes around comes around. It may not be coming around right now, and you may not be seeing it come around, but when it does, it will. And they're not going to tell you. That person who's sitting there bragging about how they got over, they won't be telling you when Social Security catches them. And trust me when I tell you, they almost always do. And I don't care what you say about how this person's receiving it for years or months and they've not been caught. Trust me, they will. One of the other things I tell people is sometimes when you see these people who are bragging about it, they may sometimes actually be disabled because Social Security saw something in their file that gave them benefits. The person thinks they got over, but in actuality, they really didn't get over. But all that aside, let's go ahead and talk about what happens after the fact. Well, the first thing fraud unit's going to do is they're going to discontinue the benefits. Then, of course, they're probably going to turn any information over if this was like a conscious intent to commit fraud, to any appropriate agencies to see if there's any type of criminal penalties that need to be administered, if that's a possibility. Then the biggest thing they're going to do is they're going to get their money back. They're going to slap a debt on you. So that means they're going to say, we want our money back. So of course the person's going to say, oh, I don't have any money. Don't worry. That debt will hang over you because they're going to get their money back. Don't know how they're going to do it, but the government is good about getting their money back. So if somebody's bragging about how they got $10,000 and it was determined that they were never disabled because they committed fraud, guess what? They owe the federal government $10,000. So I stress this to people to tell you this. For all of you out there who are fired up, I got you. I'm fired up too when I see people trying to get over. And I know what you're going through. And I know it makes you mad, especially for those people who have the audacity to brag about it. But let me be the first to tell you, trust. What goes around comes around. And eventually, that happy times, enjoy it, because that sting will be just as ruthless as those happy times. All right, as always, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Stay tuned, and we'll talk about what we're going to address next week. Next show, sorry. Again, this is Q&A Social Security Disability Today, and I hope you have a wonderful time and a wonderful day. Look forward to seeing you again. Take care.